All right, so tonight's lesson, I just wanted to show you this indicator that I use. You might have seen it in a few of my posts. I just use this as basically an extra confirmation. So what this indicator is actually showing you before we get started is this dark blue line up here is going to be the weekly high. And then the dark blue at the bottom will be the weekly low. So you can see this price action here. This was the weekly low of last week. This was the weekly high of last week, right? Okay, now the new week starts here. So you can see how they kind of chop down right here, started here. So this is currently the weekly high, which you can see price just made or is making new weekly highs. And this is the weekly low. You can see price, if you can see right here, gapped down, made a low, came up, and made equal lows. So we have equal lows here on Euro USD. And then here's the high. So, and then the next thing we have is the aqua line. So the aqua line is going to show you the previous day's high and low. So you can see here, this wick up here, this day's price action, it's showing you the high, and then the low. Let me move this because it's under it. Okay, the low. Okay, here was the low. See the wick down here? So it's showing you the low. And then if we look, so like this previous day's low, and it's showing you the line here. So today's low is it's already trading through yesterday's low, or yesterday's high, I mean. So here's the high. See how this wick here, this was yesterday's high. It showed you yesterday's high. So it's already making a new high compared to yesterday's price action. And then the daily high is, or the daily low is right here. You just can't see it because it's marked in dark blue. You see where it says aqua and low? So the daily previous day's low is the weekly low as well, is what it's showing you. And then the next thing we have is these pivot levels. So at 5 p.m. every day, these reset. So you can see here was the new daily. So it's going to restart. These are daily pivots. So the new daily candle, it'll restart. And what you want to do is find pivot levels that go in the direction of the trend and are at major liquidity levels or a kill shot and sniper. So if we were on the, let's see, if we we're on the 4 hour, let's go look. It's kind of hard to see here on the 4 hour, but let's say we had a sniper up here and then we step down to the 1 hour. Let's say this was, bullish move up, bearish engulfing, and then the short pivot lined up with that sniper. We would then look for a potential short. Down here, let's say we had a kill shot or a sniper and it lined up with the long pivot. Then we would look for a buy, right? On the 4 hour here, if we zoom in, so you see how this is lining up here? This down move to the low on the, it was a low on the 1 hour, bullish engulfing. Remember we talked about imbalance. So if I highlight, oops, I hate M24. All right, so imbalance would be the wick on the left there to this wick on the right. You see the imbalance, and then right at that candle is a pivot level. So ignore where it says long, short, ignore the lettering. We could use this as a long, we can use this as a long. There's obviously more confirmation that this might come down, retest this down candle, fill the imbalance, hit our pivot, and then continue back up. You can see right now the fill of this imbalance. You see the wick on the left there, wick on the right. You see how that imbalance is getting filled right now and it's at the short pivot. So we're just looking for extra confirmations using this. So let's go look at some other pairs. I usually just use the 1 hour. So maybe something like this down candle against the trend. See how it's lining up with this long pivot? There's a moving average here as well. See if there's any that are lining up real nice. zoom out a bit. Okay, nothing good. You can see this is bullish here, so we should definitely be looking for longs. Looking for a retest on a potential long that lines up with this would be ideal. Let's see. Okay. Let's say like this pivot up here. Let's say it was a little bit higher. We have imbalance here, wick on the left, wick on the right. And this would be our short area, and the pivot is lining up with it. So that's kind of what we would be looking for, shorts from up here. And obviously that's kind of far away. So by the time this, it could reset. Next thing you know, 3 days from now, this is showing a daily short pivot here. I have a ton of screenshots that I will send you where price is just constantly playing off of these levels. But again, you want to go in the direction of the trend. So Euro GBP, pretty bearish here. And you can see like if we would take a short off of the pivot, if it gave us a setup. So if this is bullish move up, bearish engulfing, we would look for the short there. But that is about it for the indicator. We'll just, when you see me trade the live sessions, you'll see me using this mostly. I haven't been lately because I always trade on my MacBook. And like I said earlier, the MT4 is not working on my MacBook for whatever reason. If y'all have figured it out, I know a lot of people are having issues, let me know, but I'm definitely trying to get that fixed, and then we'll be using it again, or trying to start getting used to live streaming on here would be ideal as well. But here's a decent one for a potential UJ long. We have all these lows taken out. There's that down candle through the low. So this would be our kill shot candle, right? And then we have imbalance here, which is the wick right here to the last wick. It would be here, right? But price traded lower. So it's going to be right here. And you see this long pivot, how it's right off of that down candle, like right with it. So what we would look for, is price to take out these lows, fill the imbalance, hit the long pivot, make its way back up. That's really all we're doing. Just extra confirmations inside of here. And then of course, you can use your fibs and everything. I always trade the 70% fib. Oops. The 70 and 80%, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's not on here. Let's do this. I think it's 0.70, right? Okay. Oops. Forgot to add the 80. Okay, let's do this one. All right, there we go. So you can see right between the 70 and 80% fib, right? So again, this yellow line's the imbalance. I know it's kind of hard to see everything because MT4 is trash. So this was the imbalance and the down candle and the long pivot, and it's right in the 70, 80% fib zone. So this is where we look for our longs. So there's multiple confirmations. We have our institutional candle that grabbed liquidity. We have our imbalance that needs to fill. We have our pivot level. We have the 70, 80% fib zone. Everything's just lining up with multiple conversations. No, I don't use the pivots on TradingView. I've always just used the MT4 indicator because usually I look for it to reject the pivot, and then I go to the 5-minute and get my entry. You could probably find it on TradingView. I'm sure they have it. But this one I had programmed for myself. I do have someone coding an EA that is going to start basing trades off of this as well. So we should have an automated system to come out here in the next week or so, still running some tests. But But that is about it as far as this indicator goes. Pretty simple to use. Again, it's just something you have to use in real time though. So make sure you download it. If you don't know how to download indicators, all you have to do is go to Discord, download the file I sent you, save it to your downloads, and then go here, go File, Open Data Folder, and then, hold on, I gotta bring it over here, share it on the screen. Let's see, new share. Okay, so you should be able to see this. All you're gonna do is then go to your downloads, find whatever file it is. So here it is right here. Right click, copy, or you can click and drag on Mac. Go to the back button, go to MQL4, open that up, double click indicators, and then just right click and paste it in there. So you can see it wants to replace it. I'm not going to. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and just exit out and then go to this little yellow icon here, the folders icon, and then all the indicators will pop up. You'll see it say Levi. If it's not there, just right click and hit refresh. Oops, that's the red button. Hit the refresh right here and it'll add it. And then you just drag it over and put it on the chart. Super simple. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's it for the indicator. Let's go to TradingView and look at some divergence. Let me exit out of here. It works on Mac if you already have MT4. The reason mine's not working is my MacBook won't even open MT4. I've downloaded 4 different MetaTrader 4s, and for whatever reason, the new MacBook update will not let you open it. I've tried to bypass all the security stuff. I've done everything. If you can figure it out, shit, let me know. So I definitely need that fixed as well. All right, so it's not letting you download them. Send me your email and I'll try to do it from my computer this time. I was just forwarding it. I'll try to use Parallels Desktop. All right, yeah, I'll try that. All right. Cool. Now let's look at some divergence and how we use divergence. So, all right, if you don't already, go to your indicators on here. And then if you just search like RSI divergence or divergence indicator, this one will pop up. It's regular RSI 14, but it will automatically identify divergence for you. Now, you still want to verify that it is divergence yourself, because a lot of times, or not a lot of times, but sometimes you will see that it doesn't really highlight divergence perfectly. Like one example would be this one. You see, this is divergence, but it didn't identify it on here. See how that would be the divergence. So if you don't know what divergence is, super simple. It's when your indicator and the price action start diverging from each other or doing the opposite, right? So for example, this move up here, you see how we have this double top and then price wicked way up here? Well, on the RSI, it should have done that as well. It should have made a high and then came down, but it didn't. This is indicating that this is a fake move. And when we know fake moves happen, we know that's the institutions grabbing liquidity with this fake move. So you see how they run all of these highs first? Look, they spike up, take out that high, that perfect double top. I always tell y'all, look for the clean equal highs. That's going to be your retail double top. look for it to get taken out, and then reverse. That's exactly what's happening. You can see on the RSI, what it's showing you is price right here was actually way weaker than it was up here. So even though it went higher, price is actually weaker. And that's where you can see the manipulation. So what we want to do is, just look for our snipers and kill shots around these divergence levels. So you can see here on the 2 hour, it did identify it. It didn't on the 1 hour, but you can see on the 2 hour, you see this divergence? So price made a higher low here, but a lower low on the price action. So what that's telling you is right here, price is way stronger than it was at this double bottom. However, price went down and took out that double bottom. So you can see our perfectly equal lows there. I tell y'all every time, look for the equal lows and look for the double bottom to get taken out, because we know that's where the liquidity is. So orange line is our liquidity, right? Or our equal lows. Under those equal lows is our sell stops and stop losses on the long. This double bottom right here, every retail trader is doing this. They're buying this double bottom, looking for this, okay? So let me just do this. Okay, now you can see it really, really, really clean and easy. Overall bullish trend, price makes a nice little retracement. We come down to this support and resistance level here. See this little zone between here? Remember, support and resistance is not a perfect flat line. It's going to be more of a zone. So we could draw something like this, resistance, breaks it, support, and then you start seeing this double bottom being created at support. So let's dive into this. This double bottom, again, here's our support. We're just going to look at it from this perspective. This is our support. Every retail trader is looking for this. They're all buying this support here. If they're buying that support and that double bottom, we know their stop loss is going to be below this low here. They're all happy right now. Everything's looking great. Everyone's looking like it's in profit. So here's going to be their stop loss below that low, right? And then in case this doesn't go up, if this double bottom breaks, that means this support is going to break. So retail traders will look for something like this. Sell stops below the low to continue this new downtrend. So under those equal lows, we're going to have our sell stops. Okay. So what we do is we don't take the buy here. We look at price action and say, okay, we see a perfect double bottom here, right? And we just wait. Let's go ahead and hit this. Okay, we see price coming back down. It's looking pretty aggressive. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. And then we see that this wick down has now cleared out all of the long positions. So anyone buying here, their stop losses were now hit, right? And the stop losses were hit and it picked up the sell stops. So we now know under these lows is the sell side liquidity picked up, right? And then we wait. Just because it hit this does not mean you buy or sell. You're not supposed to take action. You wait for the institutional candle. So what does that mean? Well, if we're going to trade this as a kill shot, we need the bullish move up, bearish move down to the lows. So that means we need to wait for price to then close above that down candle, right? We need price to close above right here before this is considered a kill shot, or we need a bullish engulfing candle. So we need to see, again, price close above, right? We need that bullish engulfing. So we don't take action yet. We're just waiting. But we know that, okay, something is about to happen soon. The next candle closes bullish engulfing. So now what we do is say, okay, liquidity is trapped here. We are going to look for a long position at the open or at 50%. Our stop loss is going to go below this low, because if they break this low, that means they're going to release that liquidity, and price is going to, probably continue down. So we're looking for something like this. We're looking for the retracement and looking for our buy. And we should probably target somewhere up here. Maybe take a little bit of profit above these highs. But mostly, we're looking for a decent sized trade. Maybe up here, there's a little bit of imbalance here. Wick on the left, wick on the right. So that's what we'd be looking for. Okay. Then we just want to come in here and round this up a little bit. So 64167, we can just go to 0.7. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and risk 40 pips, maybe to make 120, because we need a 1 to 3 risk toward ratio minimum. Okay, so now we've rounded everything up. Let's fix this one as well. Okay, we can look on here. So it hasn't identified it yet, but we have divergence as our confirmation as well. See how price made this higher low? But on here, definitely got that lower low wick. See how these are doing the opposite of each other? Okay. Candle has closed here. Maybe you want to draw some fibs, with, whatever you want to do. But now this is where you just start adding your confirmations, right? So tonight's lesson was divergence. You can see we have divergence here. Okay. So now let's look at the next candle. Now you're entering the buy. You see the retest here? This is where you start looking for the buy. If you want to go down to the 5-minute and verify, that's fine. But this is where you start looking for the longs. And then you can see right here, you should already be in this trade. And you see how they're not coming back? They're just pushing up, pushing away from it. And now price is right here. You can see it definitely has now identified the divergence. And, we had price right off the open, just reject and go up. And that's why you want to, look, don't always just enter at the 50%, because you're really just saving, let's see here, how many pips is this difference? So you would have been saving like 9 to 10 pips. And just because you were trying to save, 9 pips, you would have missed this whole trade. We can see if there's anything on the lower time frames here. So this was the actual entry itself. And the only thing I can really see is maybe this. So here's your equal lows, little bullish move up, down move to the lows, price trades above, makes a new high. And then maybe you entered here on this retest. That's about the only thing I see worth entering on. So you would have entered here, perfect wick entry, no drawdown. That's, look, see the 0.64170. That's literally right there. So the low of this candle, if you look up here, this L, so the low of the candle was 64166. So you would have had 4 micro drawdown, which is absolutely nothing. So does that make sense? Can y'all see all those confirmations there? Just everything lining up, and then you can see it creates that new bullish trend. Another thing we can look at is the community outlook. Remember, that was something we always look at, and I haven't looked at it today, but I guarantee you it's at least 80% short, if I had to guess. If y'all want to look at that and verify for me, I would say NZD/USD is probably 80% short, and should be going up. All right, let's go look at this US 30 trade I took this morning. 75% short. All right, so that's pretty good. Definitely should be on the long side, the buy side of it. And that's how our buy side was created. You see how they took out those lows? I guarantee you they trapped so many people short right there. Okay, let's go to stocks real quick. And this is where the 5-minute time frame and lower time frames are going to come in handy. So you can see I still have it marked up. So what I was looking at was this. I saw on the higher time frame this huge wick through all these lows. You see equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows. This huge wick rejecting. I went down to the 2 hour and 1 hour and I saw this perfect equal lows, down move to the lows, price starts to move up. You don't really see a setup, but we know this bearish move to the lows. We should start looking for something. Let's go to the 1 hour. Then I saw this candle. Okay, well, this is the last bearish candle. So what I did was I just measured this candle. Okay, and I marked the 50%, which is there. Let's go ahead and delete this now. We don't need it anymore. US 30, I only trade on the 5-minute and 15. So then I went to the 15-minute and I saw this. First, I was in a sell because I saw this pretty downtrend here and I knew it should come back down here. So I was just trying to scalp on the 5-minute, but I saw this first. Let me delete these real quick. All right, delete. I don't want to confuse you with too many lines. We need to go step by step here. All right, so on the 15-minute, I knew price should be coming down. So let's just go, so I can go step by step with everything. Okay, because I had missed this entry here, but I had saw that price rejected this little bullish candle there. And when I went to the 5-minute, I saw this setup here. Okay, I saw that, okay, on the 5-minute, it rejected this one perfectly. And you see these two little equal highs? This is picking, it's against the trend, but equal highs, bullish move up, down move, and then this is where it breaks the trend, right? Boom, broke the structure. See this bullish trend, and then breaks the structure. So now a sell here is valid. Equal highs, bullish move up to the highs, bearish engulfing. See the little bit of imbalance in there, right? That wick on the left, wick on the right, that little gap in price. Let's go ahead and copy this. Oh, I need to hit clone. Clone that. All right, there's your imbalance. And then, so I missed this sell. But when I saw that sell, I started looking, okay, here's that 50%. I noted that there's some equal lows right here. And then I noticed, okay, there's also this bullish move up, bearish engulfing off of the entry, and there's imbalance in here as well. Okay, so I'm going to clone these. And remember, this is all real time. I haven't entered nothing. I'm just adding to everything, just kind of, watching what's playing out. So there's the imbalance. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a sell here. And then if a setup creates down here, this is the higher time frame entry, right? Because remember, we can scalp up and down all day through here, but we saw how it grabbed all that liquidity with this down candle. And then we saw price pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, right? So anything down here would be our entry. Okay, so let's reset. All right, so again, I was looking for sells here, and you see how small the stop loss is? Super small stop loss. Short position here. Stop loss here. Take profit, I was looking for at the lows. So right there. So you can see 1 to about 4, let's just say 4.5, right? That's really, really good, especially for a little 5-minute trade. All right, so let's go watch through this. Price was just chilling. Price was chilling. So it's still ranging. And then I started noting more equal lows being formed. And this is what I do. Just as price plays out, I just keep adding. Okay, price coming to entry. Oh, no, price not going to entry. So I was waiting. It's just ranging. Now it's creating what? Equal lows and equal highs. This consolidation. Still consolidating, still consolidating. Made what? Perfect equal lows again. So now I know, okay, I might need to take a little bit of profit here just in case. Still got 1 to 3, right? That's all that matters. Okay, and then I saw this happen. I was like, oh man, now they're grabbing liquidity here. So this this sell might not be valid if they create a new setup. And then what happened? You can see bullish engulfing, right? So I didn't sell anymore. I was like, okay, screw that. And then I waited because now we should be looking for the buy here, right? Because remember, our ultimate goal was selling here. I think I did get in and then I just got out after like a few pips. And then now we should be looking for a buy here. And if we look on MT4, price actually retests this. I don't think it did on TradingView because I was watching both at the same time. But let's see. All right. So you see how it misses this? If you're using Prosperity, which I could bring it back up over here actually, it actually did hit the buy entry. And that's what's going to be kind of annoying. Every liquidity provider is going to be different. So this is Owanda's feed. If we go look at US 30, where, okay, let me fix this screen real quick. All right, so look, here's those equal lows I was showing you. And then remember, this is where I was looking to sell originally. It wicked it, I closed, and then this was the setup I bought. You see how it wicked it here? Like right on it. The other Owanda, theirs stopped here. I don't even think there was a bearish candle here. So let's verify. So we have a down move to the lows, bullish engulfing, a range candle, a bearish entry candle that did retest, and then another bullish engulfing. And then if we look here, look at that. The range, okay, so there is a down move to the lows, down move to the lows, bullish engulfing, a range candle, the bearish entry candle. So you see how if you just did your analysis on here, you might have not got the entry. So you have to kind of look at your actual broker's price feed because we're not using Owanda. We're analyzing on TradingView or maybe on FXCM. So every broker or whatever liquidity provider they have, Prosperity has 5 different ones, and their price feed hit it. So just one of those things. You can look on other brokers. Some will probably hit it, some won't. Again, has nothing to do with the broker. It's just different liquidity providers provide different price feed. It's all going to be relatively the same, but when it's this on the lower time frame, sometimes it will be like that. So if we look, the low of this candle came in at 24,954. 24,954. So let's do this. Wait, 24,954 what? Oh, 29. Wait. So I can see 24,954. There we go. So I need over, and then I think you said 0.2. Okay. So that entry you can see was right here, and price actually came through a little bit more. So the low of their candle actually, you see, has a few pips off. So something kind of annoying that brokers just tend to do. But that's why it's good to just have MT4 open. If you're going to be trading, you should have MT4 open, looking at your charts, and then you would have saw how perfect this was. So again, even this sell here, and if you're in like, I don't know if y'all are in the free signals group that I created. One of my students, he is giving signals in there or trade ideas in there. Everyone using Prosperity Broker, I'm giving out free signals to. So if y'all want in, just make sure you're using the broker. Show me that you have a deposit on the broker, and I'll add you to the signals group. I haven't posted in there. We just started it this week, but he posted this sell. And you can see it wicked the sell, but do you see how the sell, it played out, right? Perfect sell, wick entry, came down, but it came down just to the new setup. So you see how this is the newer setup compared to this? This is the old setup. This is the new setup. Price traded from setup to setup. So, and look, what did that down move candle hit? It took out the liquidity here, and look, rejected the 50% of the higher time frame candle. So everything we were looking at played out perfectly, right? Again, your long position would have been here, stop loss below the low, and targeting. I would always look on the 1 hour for a target, but you see this, these equal highs, this little imbalance, I would target this. Look at that. That's 8,000 micros. So 8,000 pips every 0.01. 0.01. So every 0.01 would be $800. And that's a 5-minute trade. So you're risking $100 to make $800. And price has completely blown through that. So you would have risked $100, and obviously y'all saw there was no drawdown. Your trade, you could be up $1,400 on a 0.1 lot size right now. But does that make sense as well? How we were looking for that higher time frame buy at the 50%, right? Because is this a downtrend? Yes. But we know when they take out equal lows, look at this, equal low, equal low, equal low, equal low, perfectly equal lows right here. When they take out those equal lows, we start looking for the reversal. Also, divergence. Okay, so there's many indications that this is going to reverse here. Also, we can look at the dollar index. The dollar index, the strength of the USD is going down, stocks go up. So beautiful trade here on the 5-minute, literally no drawdown. The only issue you might have had was if you were watching TradingView and not your actual broker's price feed. That's something a lot of people don't really recognize when they're coming into this, or as a new trader. But look at this. On the dollar index, what happened? Liquidity grabbed above the highs. Price then broke structure, which you can see is Want to draw a trend line or whatever. There's your structure. There's your major level of structure. Price broke it and retested it. So let me see. It should just be divergence indicator. Oops. If you just search divergence indicator or RSI divergence indicator, should pop up. There's like 2 or 3 of them. Just maybe apply them all or apply one at a time and see which one it is. It's the only one that will plot the divergence for you. All right, let me go through on the chat. Is there any questions on all this? Again, it's just extra confirmations. Remember, we always use price action first, but once we start having like 5 different confirmations and they're all lining up, that's when you know, like, okay, maybe instead of 1% risk because there's only one confirmation, maybe let's go 4% risk because there's 4 confirmations, right? That's how I trade it. So Ushan, was it just search divergence indicator and it was the first one? Or what did you search? That way everyone else can know. Oh, D Green. Yeah, I had the same setup and didn't take it because of TradingView. Forgot to take Prosperity. Yep, exactly what I'm talking about. So sorry you missed that trade. Glad to see you're using Prosperity. But yeah, we'll definitely catch that one next time. All right, and everyone else. So if you just search divergence indicator, it will be there. Also, when we hop off here, I'm going to do the upload. I'm going to post a bunch of screenshots of the pivot indicator playing out just in the direction of the trend. So some of them will and some of them won't have institutional setup candles, but you'll just see how these pivot levels are always playing out. Yeah, 14 close, Winston. And if y'all are using Prosperity, let me know, and I'll add you to the signals group as well. You just let me know in the chat on Discord, not on here. On Discord, let me know if you're using Prosperity, and I will add you to the Telegram channel. All right, I think I got every question. Do you use the pivot indicator on TradingView? All right, parallels, I need to check that out for sure. Can we look at AU? Yes. So all of these, I'm looking for buy continuations. So we can see here, let's hide this. So on the 4-hour, definitely had divergence. See how it didn't highlight it though. Oops. Let me draw that here. So definitely a higher low there, lower low there. Equal lows taken out, this low here, this low here. Overall trend was bullish until this pullback. I'm not sure if you look on my FX book how many are long or short though. Let me see. Probably all short. Probably another 75, 80% are short. Again, myfxbook.com, community tab, Outlook, find your pair. Okay, odd USD, 78% short. Okay, 78% are shorting. What does that mean? We look for the buys. Those 78% are short at these 2 levels. Here, we have a structure, support. Broken support becomes resistance. So all the retail traders will be selling in here. And then this double bottom here, these equal lows, sell stops here. So sellers here, right? Okay, let's just delete all this. All right, but we know equal lows taken out. 2-hour candle, this is the down move to the low. price almost closed bullish engulfing, but it's right there. Looks like they came down to about 50%. Not very clean. But what I would be looking for is definitely buy continuations, but we need a pullback. Down move right here, bullish engulfing. There's a little bit of imbalance in there, hasn't retested. So a sharp pullback here would be nice. So you can see we're getting at the top of the RSI. I would probably just wait a little bit and look for something like this. This might be like Wednesday, Thursday right here. Maybe the next, Monday, Tuesday come down, Wednesday go up, Thursday, Friday bullish. But yeah, I would be looking for dollar to drop. And then AU, NU, GU up. Hopefully this will continue up a little bit more first. GU, I would love a buy down here. Equal lows, down with the low, bullish engulfing, no retest yet. Equal lows there to get taken out. So a nice little sell off. And hopefully buy continuation there. GJ, same thing, equal lows, downward to the lows, price trades above. 2 hour, you can see the candle there. See the double bottom? There's your W, down move to the lows, grabs the sell stops, bullish engulfing, has not retested. Okay, so we would want to look for a long here, and then take profit would be up here. You see this imbalance? And we got equal highs here. So a sell-off, a retest, the low hold. Look for something like that. Yeah, NU long also. So yeah, AU, EG all look the same. That's because the dollar has set them up. AU 4 hour is the same as the June 12th bullish candle Valley Coast. Okay, AU 4 hour. Let me go back. Are you talking about this down candle? So if we identify this down candle here, about 50% there. I wouldn't go any further back. So this is the only area we should be looking at. Also, that's where the 4 hour imbalance is, right there. Step down, right around there. You can see everything starts lining up right about there, right? Just, this is a little bit off from where we would want potential entry, but you can see all that really matters is we're looking for longs in this area. Our stop loss should be below this low, so we're risking about 40 pips, and then we would target, somewhere up here. Even a retest of this high. So you're saying, like, would we be stopped out here? No, because if you're buying here or this 50%, right, your stop loss could either go below this low or even this low here. So even this low here, right, now your risk is about cut in half. A little bit more risky, but smaller stop loss. And again, we're just getting a general idea of a level, right? So we really have from this orange line to this purple line, we have about 15, 20 pips of playroom where we want to then look on the 5-minute time frame for a setup. So when price comes down and hits this orange candle, orange line, we start looking on the 5-minute. It could just blow through all this and go way down. If it doesn't give us that 5-minute setup, we're not trading, so we're not risking anything. If at the 50% here we get our 5-minute setup, well, then we take the buy on the 5-minute, and then on that 5-minute candle, stop loss below that low. Now you're risking 13 pips, still targeting the same. So that's how you want to look at it. Don't really worry about an exact stop loss or entry on the higher time frames. You're just looking for that general area on the higher time frames. And then we're going to step down in real time to execute our entry on the 5 or 15-minute. Does that make sense? Okay. NU long, yes, I like NU long as well. All right. Is there any other questions y'all have? Can I do an example of a short time frame setup? All right. There's going to be a full lesson on that. I think it might be tomorrow. If not, we can do it tomorrow and add in the other lesson. That way we start tying everything together. But just real quick, let's say we have this. So let's say this is our analysis, right? So we're going to round this to 684. And this one to 6815. Let's call that good. So we're looking for this general area for a buy, right? And then we start seeing price. Come down to it. Okay. So once price gets to this level, we don't just take a buy. Unless you want to just buy, put stop loss below the low, that's fine if you're confident in it. What I like to do is go to the 5-minute time frame. I'm going to delete this and do something like this real quick. Let's do this. Okay. So price is now trending to our zone. Remember, in this zone, so from the orange box to here, what I'm going to do is we're going to make this a very, that's too light. Let's see. We go here. All right, line that up a bit. And so remember, we're looking for buys in that box. I'm just going to delete all this so we don't get confused. I guess I'll leave this one. All right, so let's just say this purple line is our 50%. And then this was our open, right, of that down candle or whatever. What we would want to do is see price trade into our area. Let me make this red real quick. Trying to give you all perfect examples. All right, so we have a down candle that is just trading straight through our 50%. So that means we're not going to buy the 50% because price is trading down through it, right? So unless we get our institutional setup, we're not going to enter. But then we see price come down, trade through a little bit through the open of the candle at 6815. And then we see this bullish engulfing. So remember, this was the open, this was 50%. Price blew through it, so we didn't want to enter. We didn't want to enter. Then we saw rejection on the open, a bullish engulfing on the open. Now we're looking at our entry. Now we're going to enter at that 50%, which is also right about that same level of the 50%. So now the open is rejected. We have a bullish engulfing off the open that traded back up through the 50%. Now we're looking at a brand new 5-minute setup that is at the same level. We're taking the long here. And now we're buying here, and our stop loss is right here for 20 pips instead of the 40 pips. And we're taking the trade up. Does that make sense? This setup inside of the 1 hour or 4 hour setup. We're not entering until we have confirmation that price has rejected that higher time frame level. Sean, does that make sense? That was your question. Winston says it makes sense. Yeah, so once the liquidity is grabbed, we then look for the higher time frame setup. When price is at the higher time frame setup, we then look for an engulfing pattern, a rejection pattern, institutional setup, whatever it may be at that setup that's on the higher time frame, just on the 5 minute. So now it's a setup inside of a setup. And now our risk is way smaller. So instead of our stop loss below the low, maybe 60 pips is below the low for 20 pips. If we're targeting the high, look, our risk reward is what, 126 right there, I think. I can't read that. Maybe it's an 8. Instead of it being just like a 1 to 3 or whatever. That's a good question. Again, we're going to have a full lesson on that, so don't worry. Can you look at EJ? All right, so EJ, a lot of equal lows here, 3 of them. This one would have been a little bit scary. I would have, and this is where the 5 minute will take place. So here's your equal lows. You have a down move to the lows, bullish engulfing. Here's where you should be looking for your buy, right? However, price ranged at the entry and created new equal lows. So we're just going to identify this real quick. But if you would have bought here and stop loss below the low, it would have played out. So that's what I'm saying. You can just enter off of the higher time frames if you want. You would have been risking almost 60 pips. It almost would have got stopped out, but price clearly in profit, about 100 pips. But instead of doing that, if you identify your entry on the 4 hour, and then you go to the lower time frames. So this is the retest we were looking for. See how it blows through it? And then we would have waited for this. We have equal lows on the 5 minute. And then you can see bullish move up, down move. Look right here on the 5 minute. There's your entry. Down with the low, bullish engulfing, buy the retest. You see how there was no rejection. Price just ranged. Went through it, ranged. Went through it, ranged. And then here's your setup. And now, instead of risking, 100 pips or whatever, 60, 80 pips, now you're taking a buy here. And so where was that low? All right, so we have been buying. Original entry from the 4 hour would have been here. So you've been risking, let's say, 40 pips. Okay. So instead of risking 40 pips, you're now buying here, and you're only risking 7.5 pips. And the beautiful thing about that, this trade was just massive. All right, so let's just say, you took it to this high. That's 121 pips, a 1 to 16 risk to reward ratio. Let's look what could happen there. So MyFX book, Forex calculators. We're going to go to position size calculator. We're trading euro yen. Okay, let's say we have $5,000 in our account. We're going to risk 3%. Our original stop loss, let's just say it was 45 pips. So you would have been trading about a 0.36 lot size, risking $150, right? Now, if we change this stop loss to just 5 pips, look at our lot size. Now we're trading 3.2 lots, risking the same amount of money. Now, look, 3 lots at 121 pips compared to a 0.3. You see how much more money you just made waiting for that 5-minute setup? No drawdown. This is how you're going to make the big money. And this is what I want y'all to do. And that's why I'm teaching you it step by step by step. I'm showing you everything from the price action to the liquidity to the setups. But I'm showing you them on the higher time frame. And then we're going to start looking at them on the lower time frame inside of the setups. And it's all the confirmations. It's all going to start adding together. And when you start doing this, that's when you're going to make the big money. Just imagine when you're on a $50,000 account eventually. 32 lots. 32 lots at 121 pips. You're looking at about $30,000 in one trade. 30,000 in one trade. And look at that. You would have almost doubled your account. Made about 70% growth on your account in one trade. That one trade is more than everyone makes a month almost, as far as like a regular salary job. And it's right there. And again, you're only risking $150. So it's not like you're trading, you would have been risking $1,500. So it's not like you're, I think, right? Yeah, you're risking $1,500 to make 32,000 or something like that. And so it doesn't, like, it seems like, 32 lots, yeah, that's unrealistic, but it's the same exact risk. It's the same thing. And you're almost doubling your account or making 100% growth in one trade. And if we look at this, so let's just say we went for 100 pips. All right, we're just going to call this wick here 100 pips. So this trade would have took you, your entry was here. You had about 1.5 pip drawdown. And then price would have take profit for 100 pips in 7 hours. You had to make $32,000 in 7 hours off one trade. All right, let me get to chat. Yeah. And who's the people that helped me start doing this lower time frame stuff? They take it a little bit further. They're doing like the 30-second chart and the 1-minute chart, risking like five pips max, and they're trading like 400 lots per trade. Just sick. I'm not on that level yet. I'm cool with my 10 and 15 lots. But I've only been doing the lower time frame stuff for about 3 months now. But again, it's not like you're just taking a 5-minute trade. You're literally taking it all step by step by step down from, maybe the 4-hour, 1 hour. So it's not like, you're just, prices ranging on the 5-minute, you're looking for an entry. You can see how all of this adds up and you're getting the same entry. You're just getting it super precise compared to that higher time frame where you need a lot of pips for the price to fluctuate. That's crazy. Risk $1 to make 16. Yeah, I'll take that every day. Open your eyes. Good. What time's the live webinar? So not tonight. It is tomorrow, Tuesday at 11 p.m. CST. Supposed to be golfing all day and probably be drinking all day. So hopefully I feel good at 11. Okay, so the time difference, convert it to 12 a.m. Eastern, whatever. Right now it is 11:10. So it'd be this time tomorrow, actually, if that helps. Or this time for you tonight. I don't know how that works. Yeah, sounds about right. Winston, the real sniper. Yep. We're all going to be a bunch of snipers. All right. Well, I'm going to hop off. Again, I'm going to upload some screenshots of the pivots. What else? Drop your email if you're using Prosperity. I will add you to the free signals group. If you're not using Prosperity yet, definitely recommend it. I'm working with the owners and everything. Any issue you may have, I can definitely take care of you. But again, Prosperity 4X. So the number 4 Prosperity, the number 4X.com. You can use that broker, and then I'll add you to my signals group. It's not just me. There's a few other people sending signals as well. And then if you can't download the indicator that I put in Discord, or it's giving you an error, drop your email there as well in the Discord, and I will email you the indicator, and it should be good. Oh, one last question. Yeah, definitely upload the recording. Why not look for lower time frame entry before that? Because this is the higher time frame entry. So like when we go here, this is where we start. Well, I mean, you can look at it here, really anywhere between. So let's see what would happen real quick. All right, so anywhere between when price rejected here, you can start looking. So that was on a way before, I think. Okay, so that was here. All right, so price blows through it. Look, no setup. Now we have equal lows, no setup. This was Friday, so we wouldn't have entered anyways. Okay, price is then going to gap down this week and is just ranging. Maybe you enter here. I probably wouldn't have. Down move through lows, bullish engulfing, retest, price goes up. You probably would have got stopped out of break even. But you can see there's nothing really that is clean until we see this. I mean, even down here, maybe you could look. Equal lows, up candle, down move, grabs liquidity, price trades above. There's also the sniper there, that down with the lows, bullish engulfing. You could have even took an entry there. Again, I didn't take this trade. I was just showing you a lower time frame example. So maybe it would have played out different. Maybe we bought here instead of here and had a better entry. Maybe we got stopped out first. I was just trying to show you an example. But you are right. You would be looking at that once price was coming down to the entry. So that red line, you'd start looking for something clean. And if you don't see anything clean, you don't enter. But the two clean ones would have been perfect entries that I saw. But all right, I will get everything sent to the group right now.